The Honda NC750X for 2025 has got better DCT, better brakes and a new TFT. Exciting, eh? Hey kids, it's Mr. Fly here, hope you're well. Welcome back to the channel for another bike review. Now, the Honda NC750X is a bike that I last rode, well, some years back. I think about 3 or 4 years ago since I last rode one of these. It has had some updates, but it's not a bike that can ever be described as exciting, despite my rather sarcastic comments in the opener there. However, we don't always want exciting, do we? Well, let's say we don't always need exciting. Maybe we want exciting, but need is slightly different, isn't it? If what you actually need is a bike that is excellent value to buy, really cheap to run, comfortable, practical, looks good, reliable, then look no further than the NC750X. This bike is all those things in spades. I think it's, you know, if you wanted a commuter bike, something that's absolutely ideal for going to work. Good weather protection, heated grips, comfy seat, carry stuff on it. You could do far worse than the NC750X. I think it's one of those kind of secret motorcycles. People sort of snigger at them, but if you actually need a bike for transport, this is an excellent option. Anyway, before I get too gushing about a bike that people often don't get gushing about, and while I'm stuck behind this white van, let me show you over the bike in the usual way. Okay folks, here she is, the NC750X. This is the 2025 model, as I say, and it comes in this nice red colour, which I think looks really good. The 2026 model is exactly the same as this, but they've changed the colours, which I'll talk about a bit later, but you can't get this red one on a 2026 model, and I think it looks really good. In terms of the overall design of the bike, I think it's actually quite a handsome bike. I think there's nothing wrong with the way that looks at all. Now, I mentioned it was a really practical machine. There are a couple of reasons why that are, or why that is. Let's get the English right, and let me show you those. First off, you've got this frunk, which I've raved about before. So this here, that looks like it should be the fuel tank, is in fact the storage area. So let's just open that up by turning the key there, and there we go, bingo. You've got all that space in there. I've got my sort of tripod-y thing in there at the moment. Now, it does come with a bag, which is quite handy, which I took out because I wanted to see if you could get a helmet in there. And no matter what I did, I couldn't actually fit a helmet in there, and I even tried Mrs. Fly's smaller head size than mine, and no matter what orientation I put it in, I couldn't fit it in there. So you may be able to get a helmet in, I personally can't, so that's that. And then the other thing is, if you tilt the key the other way, opens up the back end here, and that's where you stick the fuel, in the back, which is a little bit unusual, because one of the things I like about this is the low centre of gravity, and that's been achieved a number of ways. So first off, the fuel tank is here, so it goes underneath the seat, so this means the centre of gravity from a fuel point of view is very low. And then if you look at the engine itself, look how far canted forward those cylinders are. It's a twin cylinder bike, so the centre of gravity is super low. You can see where the frame goes, you know, all the weight is basically below that point. So yeah, it does make for a very low centre of gravity bike. So even though on paper it seems quite heavy, it doesn't feel heavy when you're riding it. Quite the opposite, in fact. Can I get that up with one hand? Yes, I can. Some nice sort of premium level stitching around here, which, oops, drop the camera, which might be an extra. Actually, this bike comes with various packs, which I'll talk about later. The even exhaust on this, I think, looks okay. Perhaps could do with a tail tied in the usual way. But all round, I think looks a really nice bike. The bike's now got LED lighting as well, which I don't think it used to have, which is all very sharp looking. Nice. The other thing to show you is it's got an adjustable windscreen. You can't unfortunately adjust it on the move. It's a two-hand job because you've got these clips here. So this is in the uppermost position at the moment. I'll just put the phone down, move it, and then show you what it's like in the lower. Just remember what that's like. I'll do a quick cut to it being lower. Right, and there you go, that's the low position. Hopefully you can see the difference. It doesn't actually move that much, and as I say, you can't do it while you're on the move because it is a two-handed affair. But with it down, there's no doubt the bike looks a little bit sharper. But yeah, not a bad windscreen. Anyway, all round, I like the look of it. I think it's you know, not only is it super practical, but it looks good as well. Nice one, Honda. Okay, welcome back. So you can already see what I mean about the bike being practical. And when we go through the specs in a minute, we'll see some more practical aspects of it as well in terms of its pricing. But that's all very well. How does it ride? Well, in true TMF form, I'm going to find out behind a white van today on this rather miserable, I suppose technically it's still autumn. I'm recording this mid-November. Not the best days, but I do like to bring a practical review here on the Missenden Flyer. So, you know, it's one thing riding in sunny Spain, isn't it? We all love doing that. Oh look, there's another van. Excellent. It's another thing actually living with a bike in real world conditions, and that's what I try to bring here on the channel. Anyway, so first off, comfort on the NC750X. Well, it is a supremely comfortable bike. This seat on here is nicely padded. It's big. You can move around on it. It feels quite wide, and it's a comfortable seat. End of. It didn't always be that way. When I first rode an NC750, which was many years ago in Gran Canaria with my friends at Canary Motorcycle Tours, who are big fans of this bike, by the way. It makes great sense out there touring on this, particularly with the DCT box. But anyway, I digress. They used to have quite hard seats as standard, but the Honda seemed to have listened, and this seat, I have to say, soft as you like, it's nice. Anyway, riding position, sat nice and upright. My legs are actually tucked up surprisingly in a sporty position. Oh, this is good. Van's turning off. Excellent news. So yeah, the angle of the knees is slightly acute, but it's not uncomfortable in any way. Handlebars nice and wide. They're quite nicely back as well towards me, and as I ride this, I don't like to go on about it, but I've got a dodgy shoulder, and I can't ride all bikes at the moment. In fact, I'm waiting for my shoulder to be replaced, but that's another story. But anyway, this bike is comfortable to me even with that problem. So big tick on comfort. The bike I'm riding is the DCT variant, and that's one of the things that has been changed for the 2025 model year. That is, they've made the DCT gear changing smoother and a little bit easier at lower revs, and I have to say I'm a big fan of DCT. I used to have a Honda Goldwing with DCT, which for touring purposes is absolutely brilliant. And the other great thing for DCT is if you were in traffic, commuting, that sort of thing, weaving through traffic, which is where I think this bike kind of lives really. Well, it'd be absolutely perfect for that. In the main, I'm not a fan of automatic motorcycles, but of all the systems I've tried, DCT is my favourite, and it definitely works on the NC. Oh dear, it's starting to rain. Look at this, brilliant. Hope you can see okay. So yeah, the gear changes are imperceptible. The engine is quite quiet on this as well, so you don't really hear much. It's literally like a twist and go scooter. This is almost kind of a alternative for somebody that's got the use case of a scooter, say in a town for transport, and you could absolutely use this instead if you like the motorcycle vibe more than the scooter vibe. It's also got pretty good weather protection. As you see, it's raining, but we've got this big screen. It's in the uppermost position at the moment, and it's doing quite a good job of keeping the wind and stuff off me. Right, so I'm quite keen to try the bike with the screen in its lower position. It's in the uppermost position at the moment. You might hear it actually sounds quite noisy, although it does a pretty good job of keeping the worst of the wind off your torso, and the bodywork on the bike does a good job of keeping your legs and stuff clear. I am getting a bit of wind hitting the top of my helmet, and hence it's relatively noisy. I'm 5'8", so of course that varies depending on how tall you are and even what kit you're wearing. I'm going to come to a stop here at this giveaway, and I'll just quickly put the screen down, see how much worse that gets. Unfortunately, you can't do the screen on the move, so you've got to stop. Oh, it is in the low position. There we go, that's better. Sorry, I couldn't remember which way around I had it. Right, let's try it in the upper position, see if it's cured that that quite noisy sound that I was getting then. Right, here we go. Yeah, that's a lot better in the upper position. Hopefully you can hear the difference. I'm actually going quite a bit faster than I was before, and it's considerably quieter like that. And I can't actually feel, at this speed, sort of just nudging on 60 miles an hour, I can't actually feel any turbulence or buffet on my top of my head at 5'8", as I say. So yeah, that screen's pretty good actually, and in the uppermost position does a good job for me. Actually, there's nothing behind me. Dare I do it on the move? There we go. That's a graphic illustration of the noise difference, isn't it? There we go. You can do it on the move, but I don't recommend you do that, folks. I'll probably get into trouble now for doing that. The DCT on here is so good. It's just you just don't think about it. I mean, can't even detect the gears changing. It's incredible. Yeah, for the extra, what was it, 700 or 800 quid, I think, something like that, I would definitely go for that. I don't think there's any downside on this bike for having that. The mirrors on here, I haven't mentioned those by the way, they work very well as well. They're quite stalky affairs, but it means they're lifted up nice enough that you're not just looking at your elbows. This left one in particular got a cracking view behind, and they don't vibrate or anything like that, so that's all good. Right, let's go down this road and check out the suspension. This is my bumpy suspension testing road, and it's got pretty basic suspension on here, it has to be said. It's non-adjustable, it's from Shower, and this road is terrible, but I have to say on this bike it's set up quite soft and it's handling these bumps very well. I'm about 11.5 stone, so obviously it would vary on your weight, but I find this absolutely fine. Dare I say, it's in that Goldilocks zone. It's not jarring and it's not so wallowy that the thing doesn't handle. So no issues with the suspension, which is just as well because it's non-adjustable. It's a nice place to be, this. I like the this new TFT. We've seen this on other Hondas. I've set this up so the background is black. It comes sort of as standard on a white background. For some reason I prefer the black. Although I don't quite like these grey bits. If it was proper black, I'd be happier. But anyway, that's just a thing for me. But I do like that TFT. That's a definite improvement on the old outgoing LCD one that was a bit one of my criticisms of the previous bike. Right, my handling road then. And as you can see, it's a damp, slippery day with leaves around and water on the road. In fact, it is raining. I hope you can see okay. Let's give you a little wipe. But coming down here at normal sort of road riding speeds, 57 miles an hour down here, look, it feels absolutely fine. It's such a light feeling bike, this, because of that construction of the bike with the engine canted forward, the fuel tank low down, the centre of gravity is super low, so it gives you the impression of it being a very, very light bike when you ride it, even though on paper it doesn't sound that light. But boy, it feels it. It's great. And again, if you're maybe a bit older or infirm in some way like me with my flipping shoulder, that just makes life very easy on this bike, makes it easy to live with. Alright, let's wind it up here. Full throttle. Now we can hear the engine. Sounds quite throaty actually when you give it the beans. And quickly up to illegal speeds. It may only have 58 brake horsepower, but I'll tell you what, in real road riding you don't need any more than that. No, it's not a track day bike, you're not going to win any races with it. It may not be the most exciting in the twisties, although all bikes are exciting, aren't they? Let's face it, motorcycles are exciting, full stop. But yeah, goes absolutely fine. Let's just check there's nothing behind me, because it's got new brakes on the front as well. They're giving it twin discs now. Before it only had a single disc, so I'm expecting the brakes to be better. Let's just do a quick test. Just progressive squeeze. They feel excellent. Again, because of the light feeling of the bike, they're excellent stoppers now, so that is definitely no longer a criticism. I didn't want to yank them on because it is damp on the road, so let's give them a bit of a harder squeeze. Not feeling the ABS cutting in, even though the ABS on here is relatively simple. It's not the lean angle sensitive type, for example, but I didn't feel it cut in there. And even on this scuddy day, doing a fine job of stopping me, and actually some surprising feel there on the brakes. You can feel what they're doing. Got a nice initial bite and they keep on giving. This is a slippery looking corner. Alright, while I negotiate the slippery looking corner past Checkers, let me talk you through the specs on the bike. To the numbers then, and these won't blow your mind. Starting with the engine, it's a 745cc parallel twin, puts out 58 brake horsepower at 6,000 RPM. So not a race winner, but in reality for our roads here in the UK, do you need any more? Brakes on the front, this is one of the areas that's been improved for the 2025 bike, now has twin discs. Used to have a single disc. These are 296mm and they're gripped on by 2-pot calipers. On the rear, a 240mm disc and a single pot caliper. And of course, as this is the DCT bike, you can see there that we've got an additional little caliper for the handbrake or the parking brake, which is operated by that lever there. Suspension on the front is provided by this 41mm telescopic fork. It's non-adjustable, quite basic. On the rear, tucked up there, sorry about the mud Honda, is the, again, single monoshock at the back, gives you 120mm of travel. Seat height on the bike is a very accessible 802mm, so even the shortest of riders should be okay on here. Weight of the bike is 226 kilograms. I'm not sure if that's wet or dry, but whatever, it feels really light thanks very much to those canted forward cylinders and the under-seat fuel tank. So the centre of gravity really low, so it feels a lot lighter than 226 kilograms would have you believe. Fuel tank capacity, not there, but down here, is 14.1 litres. This bike will basically run forever on that. It's a super economical machine. Electronics on the bike, so I don't know why I always point at the TFT when I talk about electronics, but it's got LED lights, an optional USB socket, riding modes, basic traction and ABS, no cruise control unfortunately, and it does have optional heated grips that are fitted on this bike, I'm very glad to say. Come on, focus camera. Oh, there you go. The price for the bike in this DCT form is £8,399, for non-DCT £7,599. If it were me, I'd have the DCT. Alrighty, as we find ourselves behind yet another white van, this time that of SJS Flooring's Ford Transit. Let's go this way. Oh, nice one, lady, thank you. I don't know, you've got to have your eyes about here on your motorbike, haven't you? Anyway, what I was going to say is I'm heading up to the station to try out my lugging about test, and I've got a sneaky feeling this is going to go very well on the NC. Although I'm not sure about the turning circle, so we'll find that out as well. Car park's looking relatively busy today. Alright, so I'm going to go up here. I'm not going to park on the line as everybody says I should do, because I've been doing this for too long to change my system now. I get that that would be more logical. Anyway, I'm going to go in the middle of this parking spot, and then we're going to turn around backwards, see how tight the turning circle is. Now, because it's DCT, I want to stop it in neutral so I can move the bike back. This is the handbrake. Look, you can pull it on like that and release it in a sort of two-handed manner like that. Okay, side stand down and turn her off. Alright, there she is, the NC750X in all her 2025 red glory. The 2026 colours I think are white, grey and khaki green. I think I'm right in saying that, but I think the red is by far the best, so grab one now while you can. Alrighty, let's give it a go. Off the side stand, absolute doddle, because it is, as I keep saying, the centre of gravity is so light. In fact, I'm going to do this one-handed. I've never done this before on the lugging about test, but on this bike you can absolutely do it despite its 226 kilograms weight. Coming around, turning circle wise, okay, I might have to go two hands now to go uphill here. Turning circle wise, it looks like it's going to be middling. There we go, so I started in the middle of that one. I'm at the middle of that one, so that's not a tight turning circle, but I've done wider ones, so it's middling. But yeah, I mean, it's not a problem. It's I could have probably turned it a little bit tighter. It's easy to live with. That's, I think, the thing that I want to get over with on this bike. That's the main thing about this bike. You're going to have no issues moving this around at all. There's something to be said, isn't there, for a bike that is practical to live with, and it's not going to be difficult to shift around your driveway or whatever. Yeah, absolutely nailed it on that one. Right, now one of the complaints that people have had in the past about DCT bikes is at slow speeds they're awkward. Well, this, as I say, has got an improved version of DCT, so let's see what Honda have done to make slow speed control easier. So here I am, look, I've got no throttle on and it's just going along at idle, 3 miles an hour. It is slowing down. I'll probably have to put my feet down in a second. 2 miles an hour, but it's not jerky, so let's, okay, got to put my feet down now. Let's now just try and ride it with a little bit of throttle, but slowly. Let's see how slowly I can go. Look at that, it's 3 miles an hour, it's sub-walking pace. Absolutely fine, it's not jerky at all. Pulling away with this DCT wouldn't catch you out by surprise. I think they've nailed it now, DCT. And as we come away and accelerate away, yeah, it's in the low gears, it's nice, no jerkiness. As I slow down again, it changes down, imperceptible gear changes. Yeah, really, really nice. They've absolutely nailed DCT now, Honda. And whilst in the main I'm not a fan of automatic gearboxes, or in this case, I suppose it's automatic clutch, isn't it? What is it, gearbox? Anyway, whatever it is automatic. It works really, really well. You could ride along, filtering in traffic, whatever, and the DCT wouldn't give you a headache on this. As a commuter bike, this would be absolutely ideal. Oh, nice new Renault there. Look, those electric Renault 5s. I do like those, especially in that yellow. Looks good. Anyway, welcome back aboard the bike. So the specs, again, nothing that's going to, set your heart racing. But if what you actually need is a bike to travel on, then you don't need any more than that, do you? And at those prices, you know, excellent value for money as well, very frugal. You won't really find a cheaper bike to run than this. I think I'm right in saying it comes with, oh, here we are, it says on the tank, the 6-year warranty as well from Honda. 6-year warranty. The bike doesn't cost you an awful lot to buy. It won't cost you an awful lot to run. It's a Honda, so it's going to be reliable. It's comfortable. I mean, there is really not a lot to not like, if you follow me logic. People that have a laugh and a joke about these bikes, I think just don't get what they're there for. And also, I don't buy that whole uninteresting, boring thing, because as I said, all motorcycles are fun to ride, aren't they? Okay, some are more fun than others. But this really is a nice place to be. And I'm not exaggerating when I say I could see one of these in my future. I hope I can ride until I die. But, you know, sometimes you get struck down by something, it means you can't or whatever, and it means it limits your bike choice or whatever. Well, this is such a practical bike to live with. Not only for, you know, moving it around, riding it, its lightweight feeling, but also the fact that you can carry stuff in the frunk, as we can call it. You don't need to stick a top box on it. You've got plenty of room in there to carry smaller items. If you want to go touring on it, you might want to add a top box, but I probably would in that case. And you could go touring on this. It'd be absolutely fine. As you would expect, you can get all sorts of accessories and extras for the bike, and to that end, Honda offer various packs for the machine. Things called the Adventure Pack, the Sports Pack, the Urban Pack, and the Comfort Pack. So rather than go through all the details of those, I would suggest if you're interested in those, have a look on the Honda website where it details on them. There's a configurator, as usual. You can go and build exactly the bike you want on there, but those packs give you things like heated grips, the fancier seat, luggage, etc. All the things you would kind of expect, I guess. Yeah, I was always a fan of the NC750X, and with this latest iteration, all they've done is improve the things that you could have criticised before. In particular for me, the brakes were the thing that weren't so good. I do like the TFT. We've seen that, as I say, on other Hondas. I think this is the same as the one on the Hornet, for example. It's nice and clear and does you know, everything you want it to. The bike's now also with connectivity, if you want to connect your phone for music and all that sort of thing. I don't do that myself, but it's all there. This DCT seems absolutely fantastic. Like all DCTs, you can ride it in manual mode if you want to. You've got flappy paddles here that you can change the gear with manually if you would rather do that. But for me, DCT just works on a bike like this. It's a no frills, no hassle bike, and it gets a big thumbs up from me. Perhaps the most practical, frugal bike on the market today. And there's not really, just thinking about other bikes, I mean, there's things like the Suzuki Versys 650, stuff like that, I suppose, are competitors. But for me, this just seems to do everything right. And this is the one I'd go for. So thank you for watching another review video here on the Listen and Fly. Don't be a stranger. If you're not hit subscribe, do hit subscribe. I don't just do bike reviews here on the channel, but I do bits and pieces about looking after your bike in the garage, trips and tours at home and abroad. I do a monthly bike news. What else do I do? All sorts of things, you name it. I try and cover it here on the Listen and Fly. It'd be great to have you along next time. Right, that's it for now. Until next time, this has been the Listen and Fly. Cheerio. I'll tell you what, as I said, you'd be very hard pressed to find a more practical bike than this. And there's no downsides to it. It's almost perfect, practically perfect. Oh, there you go. It's sort of a Mary Poppins bike. I think I might have stumbled across a potential thumbnail title there. Mary Poppins had a bike, it'd be the NC750X, because it's practically perfect.